I'm a chronic overpacker. Historically, I was always that person, the one with the oversized suitcase that is busting at the seams. And lately I've been going through one of those obsessive online researching periods of time where you just read about something nonstop until you feel like you're an expert on it, even though you're not really. Well, lately I've been doing that for packing because I've realized how much easier life can be if you just learn to pack on a carry-on, or at least in a smaller suitcase. But that being said, I'm still the type of person that likes to have a couple options for what to wear and to feel like I have everything I really need. So today I want to share 13 ways to pack smart and to really make the most of the space in your suitcase. And I honestly have to say, some of these have really transformed my experience with travel and just made such a difference for me. And it's really made me feel like the size of my carry-on has even expanded because I'm smarter with space. So stick around for all these little gems. So I'm going to share with you those 13 tips, and then I'm going to show you an example of me packing for a weekend so that you can see how that actually plays out. The first thing I do is to maximize the space and functionality of my carry-on and personal item. First of all, when you're actually buying a suitcase, make sure that you've maxed out on the dimensions, because I've noticed a lot of carry-ons are weirdly significantly smaller than the maximum dimensions for carry-ons, and sometimes that extra half or full inch on a suitcase can actually allow you to bring something more that will help you, like a jacket or an umbrella or an extra pair of shoes. The maximum dimensions for a carry-on are 22 inches long, 14 inches wide, and 9 inches high. Same with the personal item that they also allow you onto the cabin of a plane. They have limits too at 17 inches long, 10 inches wide, and 9 inches high. I recently bought the Away Bigger carry-on, which actually kind of pushes the limit of those dimensions, but I appreciate that it's really using every possible square inch of space that I can and still fit into the overhead compartment. Another part of this, of being smart about the space and functionality, is picking a personal item that can really expand how much you can bring. So for example, this bag here is sort of my secret weapon personal item bag because it basically functions as a second suitcase, and it's kind of squishy and nice. It's from CalPack. I'll link it below. Not that this video is sponsored or anything, but if you look inside, it really fits quite a bit, and you can probably fit another jacket along with some other clothing items or any kind of weirdly shaped items that might not make it into your suitcase. But by having a bag like that, I feel like I practically double how much I can bring on a trip. But by also having it be in a separate bag, I can think about how I'm packing it and categorize things so I know where things are or which bag they're in, and it makes it easier to find things. So for example, I might pack my pajamas and my comfy clothes or lounge clothes in my CalPack bag. Another great thing about this bag, or at least something to look for in bags in general, is a flap that allows you to put the bag on the handles of the suitcase. That makes it so much easier to roll around, and that way you're not carrying extra weight on your back or shoulder. A second tip is to pack early. I cannot emphasize what a big difference this makes for me, both in that I think of everything and have a chance to forget something and then remember that I need to pack it, but then also I can look back at what I've packed and minimize it and declutter things out of the suitcase so that I'm left with what I'm really going to use. A third tip is to field test the bag. And I recommend doing this after you've packed. I think rolling it around, carrying it up and down some stairs, maybe even lifting it over your head to imagine what it's like to put it in the overhead compartment, can give you a sense of what you can handle, what's working for the suitcase, and maybe if you need to minimize even a little bit more, or maybe get a different suitcase. There are just times where you pack in a way that causes the suitcase to fall over all the time. That definitely has happened to me, or I realize that the personal item doesn't really fit on top of the carry-on, and so I need to rethink that. A fourth thing I've done is to find a compact folding system that works for me. In many cases, I'll end up rolling my clothes or folding them in a Marie Kondo way so that they're on their side so that I can see everything in the suitcase. Sometimes I'll even roll a fancier item or an item I don't want to wrinkle as much around other pieces so they're not as stuffed together. A fifth tip is to keep a pre-packed toiletry bag. And I know this takes up space in your home, and I'm all about minimizing and streamlining, but realistically, if you travel pretty often, which honestly I do, Having a set-aside toiletry bag that's your travel toiletries that's always packed allows it to be so much easier to pack up for a quick trip unexpectedly, or to just feel sure that you brought everything you really need. Because honestly, so many times if I don't have that pre-packed bag, I will just forget something that's important to me, like my hair product that really affects how much frizz there is, or a razor, or my toothbrush. Just having it all there set aside and pre-packed makes it so much easier for me, and then totally takes that part of packing out of the equation, and I'm able to put my mental energy into the packing of the clothes or the other items. My sixth tip is to pack pills in a small organizable pill case rather than bringing several bottles. Trust me, bottles are bulky, and especially if you have multiple of them, sometimes you just can't find the right one when you need it, whereas if all your medications are organized in one place, you know exactly where to go when you need to find something. A seventh thing I do is to determine what I don't need to bring with me. So if I'm staying in a hotel or an Airbnb that says they'll have it, maybe I don't bring shampoo and conditioner. Or maybe I won't bring a blow dryer or a towel. An eighth tip is to use packing cubes in a smart way. Now, I don't think everything needs to be packed in a packing cube. I have a long history of also not using packing cubes, so I see their pros and cons. But what is nice about the cubes is they keep your space in order, like you know where to find things. And you can also separate out workout clothes or other kind of more smelly garments or dirty laundry. And then you can also use compression packing cubes, which just squish everything down so the air is out of it, and then your items take up way less space. A ninth thing I do is to think about volume when I'm packing my outfits. So maybe you opt for a dress rather than jeans and a top, because that'll usually take up much less space, but it's a full outfit. And I always need to be somewhat choosy on which jackets or bulky sweaters I bring, because realistically, those take up a lot of space. A 10th tip is to think of your bag as a capsule wardrobe. So basically, pick colors that tend to work together or patterns that will work together, outfits where you have several tops and maybe a couple bottoms that you can switch out so that you feel like you're maybe wearing something fresh or new each day. That way you feel like you have more options because you can mix and match, but you're not actually packing more. An 11th tip is to layer your travel outfit. This one really opens the gates of possibility because suddenly you can wear bulkier items that normally just wouldn't fit in the suitcase. And if you really layer up, then you can maximize those options. So quite often, if I'm traveling even in the summer, I'll wear a nice big bulky sweater and then a jean jacket or some kind of light jacket on top of that. And then especially in the winter, I'll for sure wear a puff coat or some kind of bulky coat so that I'm sure to bring that along too. A 12th thing I've tried to do is to get excited about outfit repeating. And I think part of why outfit repeating sometimes isn't fun is that we were socialized to not outfit repeat. At least in my generation, like when I was a kid at school, people would actually verbally make fun of you if you wore something 2 days in a row or too often, maybe because having lots of clothes was some kind of status symbol or something. But if you can somehow try to change your psychology around that and just get excited about outfit repeating, it can feel really empowering. Like if you reframe it as, hey, I'm a smart traveler, I'm not afraid to outfit repeat, that makes me kind of cool. Or it can also involve being unafraid to just pack your favorite items. I think so often I see on videos people saying, don't pack your favorite things because you might lose them. But as someone who's pursuing minimalism, I've realized so often we save things for some day that will just never come. And so we don't get to wear our favorite pieces when it almost matters the most. Like when I travel, I want to feel good in my skin. I want to feel like I'm wearing something that's comfortable, that's flattering, that makes me feel good about myself. And so by packing my favorite pieces and just using them over and over again, I feel more okay with outfit repeating and I feel confident in my outfits and I don't mind using them over and over again. This might also involve needing to wash things while you travel. Sometimes I make sure there's a washer and dryer in the Airbnb that I'm staying in, or sometimes I'll even hand wash things in the sink. But ultimately, I think if we just change our thinking and try to catch ourselves, if we think negatively about outfit repeating and reframe it, it can feel really empowering and you can feel good about how you look as you travel. A 13th tip is to be willing to purchase things when you arrive at your destination. For example, if there's a big liquid that you have that just won't fit, consider buying a smaller travel version once you arrive there. By reminding yourself that if you needed something, you could buy it at the destination, you're able to reduce the what ifs of packing and only pack things that you know you'll really use. Like if you worry that, oh, maybe I'll want another clean t-shirt on this trip, maybe you just remind yourself, if it really gets bad, I could buy a new shirt and have it be commemorative of the trip. And maybe you don't buy that shirt at all. I think so often packing is rooted in what ifs, wondering what if this happens, what if I need this for a different context or a different scenario, and we forget that we can often just make it work and purchase something if we need to. So now that I've shared all those tips with you, I'm going to quickly show you what my suitcase looks like for a long wedding weekend. Okay, so now I'm going to show you from a first-person perspective what's in my bag. So I've got this first packing cube. It's got a lot of my tops for this long weekend. I've got a couple of sweater tanks, a button-down linen shirt that I can wear also when we're getting our makeup done as part of the wedding party, a couple other kind of undershirt tanks, and an option for wearing to the after party. Then this one is a compression cube, which is really nice to just kind of cramp down some of the space, and I'll show you why I did that in a second for this one. So in here, I don't really want to unpack it, but I've got one pair of jean shorts because it might be hot, one jacket that's kind of like my jacket for the weekend. It kind of has a leathery look, even though it's not actual leather. One pair of jeans, and one more kind of undershirt thing. And then in my personal item, I have one more compression pouch, and I've got some t-shirts, pajamas, a lounge sweater, and also my one sort of sweater for the weekend. And then on the other side, I have just a variety of miscellaneous items. I have 2 different high heels, one for the rehearsal dinner, one for the wedding. I've got my curling iron. I've got this bag here, which is this Peak Design bag that gets really tiny and folds up. It's nice to just have an extra bag. For example, in the wedding party, I might need a place to store my clothes that I wear to the location. So this is an option for just throwing random things in my extra clothes once I change into my dress. I've got my makeup bag, and then this bag is full of underwear, socks, other kind of like miscellaneous personal items, including, you can see faintly there, that's my pouch where I have my jewelry. And then I have this one constantly pre-packed bag with all my liquids that if they ask me to take out, I can. And I'll just highlight a couple of these that I think are really useful. First of all, dry shampoo is always so useful, especially when traveling. I really like this leave-in conditioner. I think I got it from Target just because it feels very luxurious. Sometimes I don't know about the conditioner and shampoo at the hotel, and so this is leave-in, and it just keeps my hair smooth so that I still feel that luxurious kind of smooth feel even when I'm traveling, no matter what the conditioner quality is. The rest is pretty just kind of standard, ordinary stuff. And then I'll just show you a couple other things in my personal item. And what's nice is with this personal item, there's this extra front pocket where I can fit my eye patch, or that's what I call it, I guess, my eye mask, that allows me to sleep at night even when there's light, and then a portable sound machine. Also, I will link everything below just in case you're interested. This video was not sponsored though. And then in here, like I already showed you, I have this compression piece that has a lot of my lounge clothes and pajamas and stuff like that. I've got my headphones, noise canceling for the plane, a hairbrush that fits also nicely into this pocket, and then my purse, which I can keep around me at any time, or I can throw it in this personal item. And what I like about this pack job too is that there is ample extra space. I don't even know if this is doing it justice, but there's a lot of space still inside here, so it doesn't feel too heavy. It's not overpacked, so that if something comes up, I can fit it in. And then the very last piece I guess I'll show you, part of the reason why I wanted to do compression here was that I wanted to fit my formal items on top. I rolled them over each other, so in the very center, let's see if we can find it, is my dress for the rehearsal dinner, and then wrapped around that is my long formal bridesmaid dress for the wedding. I know some people are going to be like, you're rolling your bridesmaid dress? Like, is that a good idea? But this way everything fits into bags that are easy to move around. Anyway, that's most of what I have for you today. If you liked this video, you might also enjoy another video where I share a bunch of tips for just things that save me time and energy day to day. Some of them products, some of them psychological strategies. So I'll be sure to link that at the end of this video in case you want to watch more. If you ended up liking the video, hit the thumbs up to help support the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. Both those things are great ways to support me and the channel. Anyway, thank you so much for spending this little bit of time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.